Warthog Radio, episode 15. Thank you all for tuning in. That's all I got. I don't know what I was going for there. I feel like I started on a roll, but then it petered off really fast. But episode 15.
Everyone has their their peaks and troughs, right? And currently, I feel like we're, I'm a little bit low energy today because I'm recovering from maybe a slight hangover. But other than that, I'm ready to rip into some stuff today.
Was it fun at least? The purposes.
Yeah, I suppose so. I think the thing that got me though was mixing my drinks. There was a god awful cacophony of different beverages that should not have been combined together. So fair warning for you people, just if you ever think about combining whiskey, vodka, beer and ciders, don't do it. Don't do it.
Just throw everything in there. Why not?
Yeah, just
mix it all. Mix it all together. What could go wrong?
Everything went wrong. I learnt this trick that, because if you get really drunk and you go to sleep, it feels like the world is spinning around you. Someone told me this trick that if you hang your leg out the side of the bed and keep it firmly planted on the floor, it stops that spinning sensation. And it worked, but the problem was that I just had a really cold leg for most of the night. So...
Well, you got your leg planted into the ground, so you're not spinning anymore.
Yeah. It's not my head, it's real, I swear to God. But yeah, no, I'm locked in now. I'm ready to go. I've had plenty of water. I'm hydrated. I'm good to go.
Perfect. It's probably good then that you're hydrating and that we're starting out with stuff that's not, that doesn't induce a headache, because at the end of this episode, we've got to talk a little bit about Black Ops 7. I know it's not Halo, but if you're in for a bit of punching down in good faith, then stick. You see what I did there?
Yeah.
Stick around to the end of the episode. But first up on the docket, man. You know that spider that plays dead?
Incy Wincy has finally gone down the gurgler.
Stop playing with our emotions.
Yeah, it's been confirmed. Halo Infinite is, it's Halo Finite now, isn't it? It's done.
Yeah, they finally just straight up said it's the final update coming. It's going to be here next week, and it's just like, it's real, man.
Yeah. November 18th, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to be dumping a ton of stuff for free into the exchange. They're going to be having a big battle pass that's got all sorts of cosmetics in it, stuff that ranges from letting you look kind of like the Harbinger to letting you look like the Warden Eternal. It's just, I guess everything that they got, all those assets that they've been sitting on, it's just kind of like release them.
I saw a really good tweet the other day that said that Halo Infinite has the most elite customization without there being elites.
Oh my God, it does.
Like, you've got the Honor Guard, I think that's releasing in season. And like, you've got like Artas Vadum, you've got like Arbiter themed cosmetics. Like, you got a whole bunch of stuff, like all these different coatings that like mimic the color tones and palettes of various ranks of like the Covenant and the elites, but no damn elites to actually put any of this shit on.
Yeah. No, that's like completely on the money. Yeah, I never... God, it would be really cool if the next Halo multiplayer had playable elites.
I feel like we've got to do it at this point, right? It almost felt like 343 and later Halo Studios wanted to do playable elites so bad, and they couldn't figure it out, and so they had to come up with a workaround, and the workaround was just smashing the cosmetics up, smashing the item shop and the like your customization full of just elite themed stuff to try and make you look as close to an elite as you possibly could. to try and keep that portion of the community happy. And like, to their credit, they've somewhat succeeded, but yeah, I want to play as a funny, goofy, warding guy again. I want my favorite split chins back.
I just want to, like, I like being the dinosaurs in Halo. I don't know what to say. Like, I feel like there's got to be a portion of it that's data driven, where they probably look at like the data and they're like, only 5%, 3% of the player base actually plays as elites, so it's totally not worth it. But then I also get the feeling that there's probably a lot of like them wanting to ground the look of multiplayer in like, don't worry, you're not playing like Destiny or like a weird fantasy game or something where you get to choose your race. Like, it's guys with military guns going at it.
Yeah, I suppose there's a bit of an element of that, but also, like, who suddenly decided to start making Halo grounded, you know? Like, I feel like it's always been a little bit... I mean, they set the precedent as early as 2004 that there was gonna be aliens that you could play as, and yeah, I just think it's such a weird thing to go back on. I mean, even if it's a small portion of the community, I feel like Halo's community in general is divided up into small portions of people who enjoy certain, you know, niches within the broader game. You know, like people who really enjoy using theater and stuff to take screenshots or make machinima, or forgers who are just in it solely for the love of making weird maps and game modes and whatever.
Yeah.
I feel like Halo is just like entirely made up of these small groups that it's almost a I don't know, it's almost like a blessing and a curse, because you've got so many individual groups that are passionate about various parts of the game that if you skip out on one, despite how small they may seem, it kind of like there's a flow-on effect to all the other groups in some ways. And I think Playable Elites was a big one, because like that's going to impact on the people who want to make machinima. That's going to impact on like the people who are really into the customization and like the player expression side of things. Like, I can't tell you how many damn Sangheili social servers there are on the Master Chief Collection in the custom games browser at any given time, and they're packed. They are packed full of people pretending to be like their own little Covenant group.
God, dude,
they
like,
just bully Spartans and shit and keep them in jail cells.
Wait, they keep the Spartans in jail cells?
Well, sometimes, like, if you I'm speaking from personal experience, but I've jumped into Sangheili social server. Like, this is a thing that me and my mates do sometimes, is that we will go into social servers and just like do the most heinous things, just like just completely ruin the state of play. And like sometimes I think there's one particular map that they use a lot for these Sangheili social servers that's like a Covenant Corvette. And there's like it's almost like the high charity jail cells from that mission in Halo 2.
The one with the throw them in with this slot. The
my
jackals.
But yeah, if you spawn in as
anybody
a Spartan,
who's playing as a Spartan in those jail cells.
But yeah, if you spawn in as a Spartan, they will not let you out. They'll just let you rot in this jail cell until you leave and rejoin as an elite, and maybe they'll let you like join as part of their little clan or their group or whatever it is. It's so just like
I love the Halo community so much. Did you not read the sign? It's like a clubhouse with like a no girls allowed sign.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's so awesome.
Halo Studios, there's that part of the community that you're missing out on.
Yeah, listen, like, exclusion, bullying, harassment, speciesism, like, you guys are missing out.
Yeah. I just want to say that's, you know, that is not indicative of everyone who likes Playable Elites. It's just a small niche.
Yeah, they're not all antisocial weirdos.
Yeah.
Some of us play as elites because of a hitbox bug on a specific helmet in Halo 3.
Yeah, being able to run away and have your head buried into your sternum so that you can't get shot in the back of the head.
Yeah.
Easily in SWAT.
Yeah, elites are tough. They're tough to balance, and it would probably be even tougher today because the standard for animation quality is so much higher than it was back in like 2007. Like they could not get away with. Have you ever picked up a turret as an elite and then walked upwards and to the right in Halo 3?
I mean, listen, I'm not personally a playable elites kind of person.
Okay.
I was in like, I don't play as an elite often. I love the fact that they're there, but I have not done that. No.
Oh, they're Halo 3. It's very obvious which species got more polish and love. If you pick up a turret as an elite in Halo 3 and just walk upwards and to the right, I think I recorded it in my video about turrets, but it's very hard to explain. The elite's legs start flipping into each other.
Oh.
And the whole animation breaks.
No, that's just part of their biology.
Yeah.
I think you might be incorrect there, sir.
They're
I think
aliens.
You'll find that is. Yeah, if you've read the deluxe edition of the Halo Encyclopedia, you'd know that elites have opposable leg and knee joints and can loop through each other or some shit.
Listen, it dates back 20,000 years to an ancestor species of the elites that they evolved from. That and
fun fact, that subset of the species is what the Halo 4 elites were based on. So.
What were we talking
Alex
about?
Wakeford, we got you, bro. We got you covered.
Yeah.
We got you covered, bro. It's fine.
Listen. Like, I know that like Microsoft is looking to cut costs, but all we ask for is like at least lunch covered, and we could do this shit all day for free.
Yeah, just lock us in a room for like 8 hours, and we'll come up with brilliant world building and lore. We got it.
Like, it'll be so much that you won't be able to sift through it.
Yeah, just drop a random armor set on us and be like, come up with the lore for that, and we got you. We did that whole thing about a couple episodes ago when we were talking about I think Werner Transformers Halo crossovers, stuff. And you came up with the really cool name for the Optimus Prime helmet and like something to do with that.
The Orion helmet?
Yes,
something like that.
Orion helmet. Yeah. With like improved radio relays on the side of the helmet to
to
look
justify
like
the Optimus Prime,
like
spike
the pointy ears. Yeah. We can do this shit. We can do it. We're trained. We're ready. We are professional yappers.
We're trained. We've got so many hours of yapping on this podcast as evidence.
15 episodes, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
That's our curriculum vitae right there.
Oh man, this all started because of Halo Infinite ending. This is evidence of our yapping potential.
Exactly.
We forgot to even talk about the fact that like it's finally over. The final update's coming.
Yeah, Incy Wincy Spider is finally done. That long running gag is done.
Well, and it's like super mixed feelings about it. Because on one hand, Halo Infinite came out before Halo Infinite came out at like a certain point in my life, and in the years that it has been struggling to get up on its feet, I feel like I've gone through so many different things. Like the person I am now compared to the person who sat down and played the campaign on launch night is very different.
Yeah, it's amazing how much changes in just 4 years. Feels a lot longer than that.
Well, and also the fact that Halo Infinite hung on for 4 years.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's not quite the 10-year plan they had in mind, but 4 years, considering its rough start, is, I want to say respectable, I guess?
It's respectable. Like, it crashed and burned so fast. And there were the fact that, like we called it like the spider that kept pretending to be dead and then it would try to make a getaway when we weren't looking. Like, it kept this up for a dead multiplayer game kept this up for 4 years. Like most of these failed live service games that come out do not last nearly that long. And it's not even like Halo Infinite died. It just, the player base shrank down until it found its niche. Like, more people right now on the Xbox top played charts are playing Halo Infinite than they are Destiny.
Okay.
So, I suppose that's not like a compliment, for Destiny's part.
Yeah, Destiny 2 is pretty grim, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there are some live service games that don't even get the decency of being able to launch properly. They just get shut down immediately. But
Anthem?
Yeah, I was going to lean towards Concord to some extent.
Oh, Concord!
Everyone forgot about that.
That's how dead Concord was that I didn't even think about it.
Yeah, it basically just died immediately. It wasn't even given the chance to come out of the womb, as it were. It was just gone. End of story. But yeah, Infinite, to its credit, has managed to kind of what's the word? Not shuffle, but like drag. Like your leg is injured and you're kind of dragging it along, like limping. It's kind of limped to the finish line, with a whole bunch of cheering on the sidelines from people being like, "Yeah, go on, buddy, you've got this.
Yeah,
come on, just a bit further. You can rest soon. We swear."
It lost the race. Like, it lost the race. Like, the race is done. It's been done for hours. Halo Infinite is in dead last place because it broke its leg immediately at the start of the race. But everyone, just like a small crowd, is still there, even though the race is over, and they're just like, come on, you can make it.
Yeah, at this point, like, Call of Duty has subbed out Vanguard for like Modern Warfare 2 and 3 and Black Ops 6 and Black Ops 7. We've had all these games.
Halo Infinite is like the story of like human perseverance, where it's like, yeah, it's lost, but if it at least makes it to the finish line with that broken leg, then that's triumph.
Yeah. I think it is weird to think back to, God, man, like the flights for the game, the first, because they kind of shadow dropped it, didn't it, on Halo's 20th anniversary on the 15th of November, the multiplayer at least. And I remember getting all the boys together.
The open beta.
Yes, well, that was very political political wording there. But yeah, getting all the boys together playing big team battle, and then the 3 years after that just kind of blurred. I think everyone moved on very quickly. Obviously, I kind of vaguely stuck with the game, but yeah, it's just, I'm trying to think about how different circumstances were. I've moved house twice. I've had 3 different jobs, and I was 22 and now I'm 26.
Yeah.
Weird.
Our 20s are almost dried up.
Yeah.
We don't have much time left.
Yeah. Don't remind me.
Yeah, people have had genuine character growth since the release of Halo Infinite. And to that, I am thankful for the game.
Yeah. But if nothing else, we got some good HCS out of it.
Yeah, well, and also genuinely right now the state the game is in, like, I do look at Halo Infinite and I don't feel like hatred and darkness in my heart anymore. Like, I do genuinely have good feelings now about the game. Like, it's helped me and my wife come close during really difficult periods in our lives. It's helped her get into the Halo franchise. It was responsible for us going to the HCS, Worlds recently. So Halo Infinite is all right. I'm glad it was able to kind of get its act together in the end, even a little bit.
Yeah, and it does feel like this final update does seem to be like it's I mean, Halo Studios aren't pulling their punches with this. I mean, you already mentioned the fact that they're dropping a whole bunch of cosmetics in the exchange, but also just permanent double XP as well, which is just great. I love that. Just permanently being able to rank up faster. Don't have to spend as much time in Gruntpocalypse matches. That's much appreciated.
Yeah.
I do feel like a little bit compelled to want to get to hero rank now. Before I didn't, but now that the game's over, I suddenly feel like doing it. It's a bit late
isn't
to
there
the party.
like a weird release of like knowing it's over?
Yeah,
no more guessing. Like Halo Infinite is what it is now.
Yeah, and I mean, for what it is as the package that it is currently, I think it's great. And I'm gonna be just ad nauseum here. This is the billionth time a person on the internet has said this, but just imagine how differently things would have been if it launched not as it is currently, but a little bit closer to how it was maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago, and that's how it was at launch. I think we'd be talking about something completely different at this point. We'd be saying,
Halo
Infinite's
Industries
on
would still exist.
Yeah, we're on its 25th season. We're still going.
Well, okay, I think the odds were stacked against Halo Infinite a little bit stronger than that. I don't even think a year and a half ago would have done much.
Yeah, probably. Oh, man.
Because that, as much as it's like now there's an overwhelming amount of content to play, it is still a pain in the ass to get something as simple as a custom game working reliably.
Yeah, that those custom game menus are pretty grim.
The menus in general are pretty grim.
Yeah, they're bad. I had someone in my comments section the other day on my Campaign Evolved video. Was it Campaign Evolved, or it might have been Halo Reach? I think I was talking about Halo Reach and how good the UI and the menus in that game are. Like they're snappy, responsive. Everything is exactly where you expect it to be. And I ragged on Infinites a little bit because I was like, why the fuck have you got to show me 16 different thumbnails for custom game modes when they could be in a vertical drop-down list? Like, why is that the case? And bro was having a mad go at me for that. I'm like, I'm sorry, are we playing the same game here? Have you seen Halo Infinite's menus? Have you seen that every time you want to go from multiplayer to campaign, you've got to reload the game and essentially launch a second one?
Rebecca was looking through her the item shop, and she was like, how do I bring up the list of everything that I favorited? And I was like, oh, no,
my sweet
honey.
Summer child.
Yeah, it doesn't work like that, honey. You need to go into these... Oh, my God. It's like, okay, well, do you want to look at the items you favorited in the exchange or the items you favorited in the shop? Then you would have to go to, like, helmets and then bring up, and you'd only see helmets favorited. Like... She was shocked. She didn't believe me. She thought I misunderstood, so she re-explained it, because she just couldn't believe that even something as simple as a favorited items list was buried within submenu after submenu and then divided up.
My favorite thing is whenever I go to the exchange, and you know how you can swap over to like the HCS part of the exchange or whatever it is, or like the more individual things in the exchange. When you press B to back out of that on controller, it just sends you straight back to like the top menu. It doesn't send you back to the previous page you were on.
Yeah. Yep.
Just little things like that, man. Yeah. Unfortunate, but hopefully a deep learning for Halo Studios, I would hope.
Yeah,
oh boy.
I feel like the Halo series, like, I mean, granted, there definitely is an issue of like UI designers and tech people can only do so much with the budget and the resources and the time that they are given, and usually the case is that like UI is not even remotely a priority. So they do the best they can, but I feel like after Halo Infinite now, they can't have another UI like that.
No. I especially with a game series like Halo that has such a strong lineage of like fantastic menus that are just functional, they're great to look at, they sound good. You know, it's disappointing to see to see it fall so far from grace and to just kind of mimic what other popular live service games are doing. You know, your characters in the middle of the screen, you've got your challenges in the top right or the bottom right, and all your game modes in the bottom left, and your playlists along the left side of the screen. It's just kind of it's unfortunate that we had to swap out functionality and purpose with just derivative nothingness. Quite frankly, I don't. A big part of the reason why I don't like playing Halo Infinite is just those menus, man. When I log in and I just look at it and I go, this has just got no... There's no character. There's nothing nothing really just luring me in like those older menus, the Bungie menus did for me. Even Halo 4's, to be honest, at least had a bit of character. But
Halo 4's, weirdly enough, kind of felt like what Halo Infinite's was trying to do. Like, Halo Infinite's using the same kind of, like, stylization and fonts of that in-universe visor system that all the UNSC tech is operating for. Like, I think, you know, in the little loading screen, it kind of looks like an actual user interface loading screen. I think they were trying to make it look UNSC techy a little bit, but, like, the Halo 4 version actually does look like UNSC tech, like all the holographic pop-ups and stuff.
Yeah, and the motion between the different screens and whatever was really cool. Yeah, the transitions
between the different screens especially. Halo Infinite does genuinely feel like they did not have nearly enough time to execute a grander idea that they had.
I think it was before the big kind of transition to like corporate minimalism that overtook everything in like the mid to late 2010s, I want to say.
Yeah.
Because Halo 4 still has a bit of that...
like go crazy, go loud, go wild.
Yeah, like all the neon lighting and stuff around the edge of the player cards when you're like in custom games or in multiplayer or whatever.
The little glitchy, the staticky effects.
Yeah, like the blue accents and stuff like that. It still adds a lot of charm and a lot of character, but Infinite is very much like, here's a white border. that's what you get. That's it.
It's interesting you say that, because you can actually see a bit of the transition start when looking back at Halo 5's beta versus Halo 5, the final release.
Yeah.
Like, Halo 5, the final release is not nearly as, you know, like, Cracker Barrel logoed as Halo Infinite's UI is, but...
Sorry, we don't even have Cracker Barrels here in Australia, and I know exactly what you're talking about.
You know exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, like... Yeah. The Halo 5 beta UI was so cool, so immersive, so, like, science fiction-y and stuff. Like, it made me feel like I was getting ready to launch into a sci-fi sports ball event from the future. But the Halo 5 final release is like, oh, there's a PNG of the Infinity.
Yeah, it's a completely different look, and I'm looking now at the like the Halo 5 Guardians beta menu concepts. Like, a lot of artists released their early concepts for the UI, and
how
a lot of this
crazy
stuff,
it was.
Like, it's so much, dude. It's so much. Like, all the different, like the lens flares and like the the streaks of light on the side of the screen. It's so much.
You barely can comprehend what you're looking at.
Yeah, like the lighting bloom is just in another realm of ridiculousness, but it's got character to it, and it does feel like it fits within the world of Halo 5. Like, it immerses you and introduces you to what this game is setting up before you even hit the play button.
It captures the aesthetic of Halo 5, I think, a lot. And just like that Reclaimer Saga era of Halo a lot better than the final game's UI. It's sci-fi. Like, the contrast dial has been cranked all the way up. The blacks are super black, the whites are super white.
Yeah, everything's like the highlights would be peaking. If I brought this into Photoshop and put it through the camera raw filter, the highlights would be peaking right now. And like everything's kind of on an angle to give this impression that it's like
3D.
It's sort of like 3D. It's like it's being projected somehow. That's a look I really dig. But just across the board, man, I think what Infinite is missing is that compared to the previous Halo games, each menu kind of immerses you and gives you an idea of what the game is going to feel like before you even hop into like the campaign. Like Combat Evolved, you load that up, you see the ring circling in the distance. It's accompanied by the choir and the theme music. It sets the tone of like wonder and exploration before you even get in there. You know, like you see the ring and it's immediately the focal point and you're wondering, what is this all about? In Halo 2, you've got the kind of panning shot of New Mombasa with the Covenant supercarrier off in the distance. The music is like, it kind of alternates between quite energetic but also quite melancholic as well, and I feel like that hits Halo 2's tone almost perfectly. And then Halo 3, you know, it's the tail end of this decades long war. You're seeing like the portal to the Ark in the distance. It's similar to Halo 1's, I feel like, in that it's kind of prompting you to be like, what is this all about? Like this stormy clouds in the distance and this Forerunner structure. Like it immerses you in it before you even jump in. And I feel like Infinite's just, I don't know, I feel like it just didn't really do the same for me. And maybe that's because its first impression was the multiplayer.
Remember the launch?
With the oh god, I'm trying to think that far back.
The menu has gone through some changes.
Yeah.
At launch, remember it was the grassy field out in front of you.
Oh, with the ring. Yeah. That was cool. I liked that. Why did they ever change from that?
I think the reason that they changed, so it was a couple of things. It was geometry, and Halo Infinite is not exactly the most optimized game on the planet. So you're loading in to just the UI, the main menu, and it's like it has to load out all this geometry, so it takes freaking ages. I can attest to that. At the launch of Halo Infinite, it genuinely took my computer 3 minutes after pressing play and getting through that boot up screen and then just waiting for the main menu to load. It took 3 full minutes. So they changed it because of that. They wanted to simplify it, get rid of a lot of that actual 3D geometry and make it simpler, faster to load, less heavy on PCs. But then also, I think as the seasons were going on, they began changing the main menu to reflect the seasons. Like, remember during the infection season, they had Eratus hooked up to the fucking thing?
Yeah, the menus kind of got more and more simple as I think the game went on, probably because they realized that, rendering all that stuff was just not good for the game. To the point where I think was it the season with the, what's the map's name? The one with, like, the Needler, the Blairmite mines.
Was it that one?
They just changed it to, like, an image of some planets in the distance, like a JPEG with a bit of, like, like After Effects smoke going across the bottom of the screen.
I thought, the change now to the current UI, that came with the Delta Halo multiplayer map, right? The one that's all sunny and pretty and nice to look at?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. God, even just trying to remember the amount of changes that this game has undergone between the seasons, it's
changed a lot.
Back years. Yeah.
And I still, because I am nothing if not a petty man. I still remember, and in the event that, John Unishek maybe is listening to this, I'm still waiting for that bigger weapon cradle on our in-game HUD that was promised a month after the game released as part of the feedback from the open beta. It was promised, and I'm waiting for it 4 years later.
Taras, buddy, I'm just gonna keep it real with you. I'm gonna keep it 100. I don't think it's coming. I don't think it's coming, bud. Champ, it's time to move on.
No,
all right.
God, that. Oh my gosh! Remember the drop pods?
The drop pods. Wait, well, are we? How far back are we talking, bro?
We're talking. Probably what I think most people would consider the darkest point in the game's lifespan, Season 2. Oh, yeah. Take your mind back.
Yeah. The drop pod, like the updates that they did on Waypoint to be like, this is the thing we're working on, or whatever it was, like the little micro updates they were doing.
Yeah, they were like, hey, here's what will be happening going forward. In between major content drops, we will release bug fixes that we're calling drop pods that will address community concerns. And then they did one, I think. A single one.
Oh,
and then
man.
They just kind of went back to the usual, like, kind of, you know, sometimes a content drop fixes a bunch of stuff. Sometimes a patch releases later that fixes stuff. But I think enough people kind of, you know, said, drop, do you mean a patch? Like, that's a patch that you're describing, right? Why are you calling it a drop pod?
Yeah. The early few months of that game were very, very rough. When that honeymoon phase wore off,
it hit hard.
Yeah, it really did. I'm trying to think of another game that was even equivalent to that kind of, I don't want to say immediate, but like the ramp up and backlash was so fast, just so quick. And getting poor Joe Staten out on stage to do all the, you know, all the bad news. It's like bringing the Avengers out, you know, when you're in hospital and the nurse is like, don't worry, bud, you're fine. And suddenly Batman
into the
Iron
hospital
Man,
room to tell the bad news.
Yeah, it's, dude, just rough stuff.
Yeah, and it sucks because you can, a lot of people attribute like the positive, I think it was probably around season 3, right? Or at least season 4, when people thought like, hey, things are finally starting to turn around, like the game is starting to approach a decent state. But by that point, it was kind of like, I don't know if Joe Staten was already gone by that point, and like the mass firings had started and Pierre Heinz took over and everything. A lot of people attribute like the positive change in direction to the game to the leadership change, but like the reality of game development is that a lot of the stuff people ended up liking that arrived much, much later, all of that was put into motion, you know, around the launch of the game.
Yeah. And I think it's an important thing to say. Yeah. And I think that, you know, there is something to be said in the fact that game development is a bit glacial, especially when glacial meaning it takes time, like it's slow. It's real slow once you get the game out and suddenly priorities begin shifting and people go and move on to other things, or people get fired, and it's immediately like, the effort required in sustaining a live service game and trying to be responsive to community feedback, especially when you launch as bare as Infinite did. They were sowing the seeds of their own destruction from the offset, to be honest. It was, just all the gossip and the rumors and the stuff that was being talked about and leaked from behind the scenes, that I struggle to think of a game that's had a similar accidental level of transparency, quite frankly.
Unintentional transparency.
Yeah.
And it's also, it's going to be interesting seeing the retrospectives of Halo Infinite when the next Halo projects release, and also like the people who Halo Infinite was their first game in the franchise at a young age, like as they grow up and join the bigger Halo community, like the thoughts they're gonna have, because we're starting to see Halo 5 kids now who are all grown up joining the Halo discourse. And
Fuck off! It's not good. It's not good.
Hey, you say fuck off. I'm really interested in that dialogue. It's like a specimen. Like, I'm like, whoa, like that was your first game? Whoa, like I want to like get out a notepad and like a pencil. Like, tell me about it. What is Halo to you? Like data,
what kind of
it's raw
lab rat
data.
Experiments you running over there?
Like, oh my god, something that Halo Infinite and my experience of learning how to love Halo Infinite with my wife has taught me that why you have to be mad? It's only game. Like, I've almost taken on that approach now, where I'm like, man, I just want to hear what everyone else is saying now. Like, I want to see what
so you can sustain yourself.
So I can yeah. Like, I found a new way to enjoy Halo, which is feeding off the enthusiasm of other people.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know, it's interesting now that, like, you know, the Halo 4 kids are well into the community. The Halo 5 kids are starting to grow up and they're starting to get in here, and it's interesting hearing their thoughts. The whole sprint debate, something I'm actually like pleasantly surprised by the community with when it comes to like their debates about, you know, the Halo remake. If we're gonna ignore the hyperbole and the toxicity and stuff like that, people are being surprisingly nuanced. With
I'm sorry. Do you are we in the same community here? Are you fucking kidding me, dude?
What? I'm staying away from like the usual troublemakers. You know, but I mean mostly, like, I feel like Jamie Griesmer's tweet about Sprint and everything kind of like prompted a lot of healthy, even though, you know, everyone says he reopened wounds in the Sprint discourse. I think it did the opposite. That thread he did about if Halo should or should not have Sprint, and then broke it down as a game designer, it opened the door to a more nuanced discussion about Sprint and pros and cons and trade-offs of adding something. Like, I've been, hey, if you're in the Halo community and you've been a good boy when you're talking about Sprint, like, I see you and I'm proud of you. It's what I'm saying.
Dude, I mean, the bulk of comments on my videos whenever I talk shit about Sprint is, why would you not want to go faster? And it's like, you can go faster without being locked into some just standard shitty animation. You know, like, I think that people misinterpret Sprint with just, like, you need to have that in order to go fast.
Yeah.
And I just, like, that's not the case. And subsequently, it's meant that a lot of people think that the older Halo games are slow. And, like, they are slower, but I certainly wouldn't call Halo 2 slow. That is a fucking fast-paced game. Like, even without Sprint, the multiplayer in that is cutthroat if you're not fully aware of what's going on around you at all times.
I still think Combat Evolved might be the fastest multiplayer in the series.
I mean, there's an argument to be made that it is. I mean, the time to kill's pretty damn quick, and it's unforgiving. And the maps are very, like, if you don't know the ins and outs and you don't know how to traverse them effectively with crouch jumps and, you know, physics exploits and all the rest, it can be quite difficult. I'm not saying it's, because it's not even comparable, but it's like, if Halo was leaning towards a Quake-like game, Combat Evolved feels the closest to Quake in some respects.
Be careful. Somebody's going to come out of the woodworks and, without a shred of irony, honest to God, say that, well, Halo is an arena shooter. So the Quake comparison makes sense.
No.
To which they would be very wrong for saying that.
Yeah,
but we're nice people, so we wouldn't make fun of them, would we?
Yeah. No, we wouldn't. No. Halo is not an arena shooter, you troglodyte. Sorry.
Okay. Oh my god,
maybe
that's
we'll cut
almost
that one out. Maybe we'll cut that one.
Cut it out. That was unnecessarily mean.
Anyway,
that could almost be its own like episode
video,
on its own.
yeah.
Like Halo is not an arena shooter. These are the reasons why. Yeah, but how does this relate to Halo Infinite? Quick.
Good question.
Quick. Tie it to Halo Infinite.
Sprint
debate.
It's still Halo, innit? I mean,
Yeah.
but
We need a bit more than that.
Young people growing up with a certain Halo game to be their favorite, Halo 5 Infinite. Interesting to see what the opinions are going to be in the future.
Sprint debate. Halo Infinite's version of
Sprint.
Sprint. People really seem to like it. But then there are people, who, should we just I guess we could start talking about the remakes and everything. At this point, because we're already starting to drift towards just we really want to talk about the Halo remake and possible
and also,
remakes.
If we get into Sprint, it's going to be another hour. So
yeah.
I think we avoid that where possible.
Yeah, we'll put a pin in that indefinitely.
Episode 21, boys. Episode 21.
Yeah, it'll be the 5-hour episode where we just talk about Sprint.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, but so Halo Infinite, it's finally at its end, thankfully, and the trilogy might possibly be remade, according to rumblings within the community.
Yes, I think it's I just want to add quickly that with the end of Halo Infinite, it does feel like we're kind of wrapping up a certain era in terms of how Halo games were made. I think that we might see that Infinite could potentially be the last quote-unquote content complete, at this point, content complete Halo game. I think that going forward, Halo Studios are probably going to take on a different way of making Halo games. I think that the remake trilogy lends a bit of credence to a theory that I have, which is that it's going to be the gateway for a lot of people to get into the series, and they're probably going to be campaign only, and there's going to be an underlying live service multiplayer game that will probably coincide with the release of these remade games and might pay homage to them in some way, similarly to what Halo Infinite did with was it Halo 2's 20th anniversary and something to do with Halo 3 before that, where they released the classic legacy movement playlists. I think we'll probably see something like that rear its head again for if these remade games are coming out. Well, they'll be classic playlists for this ongoing live service game, I think, is what they might end up doing. But that is, that's potentially years down the line. But yeah, the rumor is that Campaign Evolved is going to be the first in what is going to be a trilogy of remakes for Halos 2 and 3, and mixed feelings.
Aw.
Mixed feelings.
That's your reaction?
I really want a Halo 2 and 3 remake, man. I really want a Halo 2 and 3 remake, but I don't want them like how we've seen Campaign Evolved so far.
Okay, yeah, I get that.
I think that there is... Man, Halo 2 and 3 especially, there is so much potential for those games. There is so much cut content and things that were left on the cutting room floor that I can see being so seamlessly reintegrated into the story of these games to make them better, that I want that, but I know it's going to come with a whole bunch of compromises as well. And as someone who's first experience playing a console shooter was Halo 2, and I went back and played Combat Evolved afterwards, Halo 2 and Halo 3 are the sacred texts for me. I feel like they haven't. I feel like they haven't aged. I know they have, but they haven't aged maybe as poorly as Combat Evolved has. I know that Combat Evolved has its quirks and it has its fans, and I love it for those little kinks that it has.
You're like an elderly Luke Skywalker, like screaming and trying to protect these dusty old books.
Yes, because they are dusty old books, but god damn it, they're my dusty old books.
You're like arguing with like the little Yoda that just set your books on fire.
The sacred texts!
Page turners they are not.
Page turners they are not. Failure, the greatest teacher it is. You know, that's kind of where I'm at right now. But there's too many mixed feelings in my brain, because one, I feel like you can't remake Halo 2 and 3 without those multiplayer components. So much of those games are the multiplayer, and getting rid of that is like, it's like repairing a car, going to the effort of repairing a car, but then forgetting to put wheels on it. Like, the car will start, but it's not fucking going anywhere. So much of those games are the multiplayer experience and the times that people had with those. I think that is a big reason why people are still frothing for a Halo 3 anniversary. It's not just because of the campaign. Like, don't get me wrong, the campaign's great. It's got its problems in terms of the story department, but it's the multiplayer that really cemented Halo 3 as like an icon and a cultural pillar of the mid to late 2000s.
Could I add to your comparison of like it being a car a little bit? It maybe not the tires, but it would be like removing all of the extra seats and just having the driver's seat. Like, what are you talking about? It works. It'll get you from point A to point B. Why do you need these extra seats?
Yeah, pretty much. But then also, without the wheels, it's got no legs. It's not going anywhere. Like, it's not gonna... I can't see the longevity of that game without a multiplayer component. Just frankly, I can kind of get past it with Combat Evolved, because I love CE's multiplayer, man, but it really was Halo 2, I think, that lifted the bar, and I think a big part of that is also the connectivity to Xbox Live, and that's what kind of made it last for so long.
Mm-hmm.
But also I think the precedent has been set previously with Combat Evolved Anniversary, and the fact that didn't launch with a multiplayer component either, except for those reach maps. So I think it's a little bit easier to get over that hurdle. But Halo 2 and 3, man, I mean, not only did they kind of low-key fuck up Halo 2 Anniversary's multiplayer, because it was not Halo 2 Anniversary. It was
Halo 4 with the sprint disabled.
Yeah, it was Halo 4 with the sprint disabled and a couple of old models from the campaign anniversary mixed with new stuff that didn't gel at all. And I feel like there is a point to be made that you guys fucked that up. I don't want to say you lied to people about it, but you definitely...
Okay.
Well, I mean, there was the thing about... God, who was it? Was it Quinn Del Hoyo who came out on stage and said... And the multiplayer will be launching exactly as it was 10 years ago.
You're misremembering. You're misremembering. It was... God, what's his name? Dan Ayub?
Was it? Oh.
Was that his name?
I think it might have been.
He was a producer, and he said... and alongside Halo 2 Anniversary, the original Halo 2 multiplayer will ship exactly as it shipped 10 years ago.
And it wasn't.
No, it was technically the Vista port of Halo 2.
Exactly. Yeah, and it had problems, but
it's marketing.
I just think that it is. It just felt misleading at the time, and again, the fact that Halo 2 Anniversary's multiplayer is not Halo 2 Anniversary. It's a botched version of Halo 4's that admittedly is fun, but it's not Halo 2. It's not even comparable. So I think that they should
That's
give it a
fair, I
second
guess.
shot for the people who, you know, who went into it thinking that was going to be, you know, like a new, not necessarily new definitive way to play Halo 2, but at least an updated way that was faithful to the original. And I don't think it was close enough to be deemed as faithful.
Well, I think what would probably stop them, and why I imagine that they didn't even try with this Combat Evolved remake to do the multiplayer, is that a lot of those older Halo, like Halo 3 might be the most, it might be the safest to actually do a proper like one-to-one translation into new visuals. But Halo 1 and Halo 2, they're not very polished, and that comes as somebody who actually loves them and finds some of the lack of polish actually adds depth to the combat. But they're not polished in a way that people who are very experienced with those Halo games will hit the ground running when they release. And a lot of new people will be just kind of like, what is this mess? And then they'll leave and go back to Warzone or something. I remember when they were releasing the Master Chief Collection on PC, like, and the only reason I'm saying this isn't like, oh my god, leaks, insider information or anything. It's more like it's interesting insight. Like, it's actually like interesting because what they were maybe a little bit anxious about actually ended up kind of being validated a bit. They were anxious about releasing the MCC on PC, like they were going to do it, but they were wondering how they could do it, because they were like, listen, these games are old and people who are good at them have only gotten better as the years have gone on. Like, people know every inch of Halo 2 multiplayer, and when it releases on PC, it's going to be a mess for people who are not experienced with that game. And they were kind of right. You know, people just, like, the vets stomped and mopped the floor with, like, so you've got to find a way to repackage those games in a way that puts everybody on even footing if you want to have a healthy multiplayer experience that even kind of brings back those feelings of Halo 2 on launch, of everybody learning together. But at that point, what would you change? And would you be faithful to the original Halo 2 experience if you're changing too much?
Yeah, and then by that point, it becomes so much of a headache. They're like, nah, fuck it, we're just doing campaign.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, Christ, like, the Campaign Evolved remake, Campaign Remastered Anniversary Edition, whatever.
Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah, Electric Boogaloo. Like, it has sprint, it has no D-scope, no health packs, it has a needle rifle in it, it's gonna have the sentinel beam. Like, it's already so different from Combat Evolved.
Yeah.
Like, what's the multiplayer gonna play like? Is it gonna be like sprint, no D-scope and everything at that point? That's not exactly, you know, a faithful remake of Halo 1's multiplayer.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
you're kind of like damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah, I can almost let sprint in campaign slide, because I feel like its implications and like the additional changes in movement, I feel like that can slide a little more in campaign, but the biggest impact, and I think where you see it most strongly, is in multiplayer. The changes to multiplayer become the biggest there, because immediately then, yeah, the way the maps play, the size of them, it's all gotta be scrapped and kind of reevaluated, essentially. And that's what I'm most concerned about for Halo 2 and 3, is that, again, doubtful, but if they do decide to do the multiplayer, then that's what they're gonna do, is they're gonna try and find that compromise again in the middle where they make it appealing to new people and everyone, so that everyone can kind of learn together, but then at the same time, a lot of those little things, you know, about the size of the maps and those little subconscious things that certain players know how to do, like crouch jumping sideways this way, or doing this or doing that.
Is
that
it
gets
Halo
lost in
2
translation.
multiplayer if it has sprint and no BXR?
Yeah, like it's not at that point. It's
something new.
Yeah, it is. It's again, it's another Halo 2 Anniversary multiplayer situation. And arguably by that point, Halo 2 Anniversary multiplayer would probably be closer to the original Halo 2 than whatever it is that they're potentially deciding to do. If, in a hypothetical, they add sprint and no D-scope or whatever it is. So yeah, you do raise a good point though, because I've gone back and played Halo 2 with my friends who were less familiar with that game, and they struggle to get their head around it. And I think that out of all the classic Halo games, Halo 3 is honestly the one that they seem to click with the most. There's something
it's the most
about,
accessible.
Yeah, there's something about that game that just sits better, I think, than 2's does.
Somebody explained it to me really well. He said basically that like Halo 3 is sort of like Smash Bros. Brawl.
Okay, all right.
Like,
I'm listening.
As a first-person shooter, where Smash Bros. Melee is like, it's, if you were to get into a room with a bunch of like a variety of different Smash Bros. Fans, Melee is unfortunately a little bit too competitive, in the same way Halo 2 was, where it's like they know the ins and outs, they know all the exploits. And with Brawl, Nintendo like designed it in such a way that it almost feels like it's pushing back against people getting too aggressive, and it has so many little systems and animation buffers, you know, so that you can't exploit it in a way that like it feels proofed for social casual couch play. Smash Bros. Brawl. And some people may not like that, but it does make Brawl a more accessible game than Smash Brothers Melee.
Yeah, Halo 3, you hit the nail on the head there. It is just a more accessible game, I think. And it's just a product of the development that Bungie were going through as a studio and figuring out what worked and what didn't. And I think just having more time for that game compared to Halo 2. I mean, and Combat Evolved, because CE's multiplayer was a last-minute addition. Like, they were pretty close to scrapping it before release, and thankfully they didn't.
I think actually Hardy LaBelle has come out and said, like, guys, it was not that dramatic. Like, the game was always going to have a multiplayer component. Yeah, like Hardy LaBelle has said, like, Halo 1's multiplayer has started to be mythologized a little bit. It's like it was just a little split screen thing. Yeah.
But I mean, Halo 2's, on the other hand, does sound like, I mean, like the rest of that game, it sounds like it was very,
ambitious.
Yeah, chugging along better than the campaign, I think, but still a lot that had to be kind of compromised, and
well, what do you know about Halo 2's original multiplayer vision?
Well, I know that they had that kind of rough idea of like kind of global battles. I know that was a thing at one point, or was that Halo 3? Am I getting those mixed up?
Oh, I don't know.
There was like a bigger team battle sort of thing that was going to be almost more kind of campaign centric in a way, that there was going to be elites versus Spartans, and it was going to be more kind of almost like what Invasion ended up turning out to be,
or even Warzone.
Yeah, to an extent. And that was the original vision, but Max Hoberman was kind of the one who said, well, people loved Combat Evolved for its kind of fun party, you know, goofing off with your friends, 4v4 and big team kind of stuff. Why aren't we focusing more on that? And that's when the direction for the game kind of pivoted towards what it ended up being. But yeah, initially there was a more ambitious goal. I think it was maybe Jason Jones had some kind of input on that initial concept. I feel like that's a very Jason Jones kind of thing, to be like, let's go off in a different direction and do something that's big and epic and awesomeness will ensue, but maybe not necessarily considering all the technicalities of it. That's my understanding. Again, I could be wrong though.
I feel like I remember hearing that it was scrapped more due to like the scale and complexity of what they wanted, because they wanted like
that too,
Covenant versus UNSC basically is the pitch for the multiplayer, and it would be like large, huge, big team battles with AI and like drop ships and all of this stuff, and it's like they could barely get the campaign off the ground.
Yeah, ambition was just too much for the hardware of the time and the time that they had in general, I think.
You know what would be creative, actually? If, you know, they can't if they can't remake the original Halo 2 multiplayer, but they want a multiplayer for the Halo 2 remake, they should totally dig out those old design docs and try making what they were originally going for with Halo 2 like, okay, you're already gonna make the campaign feel so different from the original Halo 2. Make a new multiplayer that's based off of a lot of their cut ideas.
Yeah, that's a compromise that I could realistically see working. I think there's a fine line between, like, when you want to remake something and keep the intention of the original, but kind of not doing that, and then I almost respect it more when they quote-unquote remake it, but they're still taking inspiration from, like, original design concepts, but going off in a different direction almost. I kind of respect that more. That's something that I do want to say about the campaign, is that I had an idea in my head of, for Campaign Evolved, they mention a lot that they are referring to the old storyboards, which I think, was it Lee Wilson, who was mainly doing the storyboards at Bungie at that time? I think I might have gotten the name wrong there, but they have access to those storyboards. And I mean, the community's had the access to Halo 2's original cut ending and the ideas for that for a while, and I thought it would be really neat if maybe as like an alternate ending, like a what if kind of scenario, they were to refer to those storyboards and those design docs to remake what was initially pitched as Halo 2's ending, as like, you go through and you complete the campaign for the first time, and it's like a World at War Zombies thing. You get this, like, this alternate version unlocks that you can play. I think that'd be really cool. Just, like, probably never going to happen, but it's almost been like a historical artifact amongst the Halo community, where we've all heard about Halo 2's original ending and stuff, and I think it would be really, really sweet to almost pay it off to those people who, like, who played Halo 2 at launch and they got the cliffhanger ending and were kind of robbed of what the original was supposed to be. I think that might be kind of cool, but again, doubtful it would ever happen, because then they would have to admit that Forerunners are humans, which could be a bit tricky given how Halo 2 originally ended.
Gosh, it's almost like we're like the flat Earth community of the Halo community, you know, like the Forerunners are actually humaners.
Yeah,
we've got our, like, tinfoil hats on. Like Forerunner stuff looks so cool. I love how accessible and easy it is, and then we pop out of nowhere with, like, our insane like corkboard full of evidence. We're like, it's because it was made by humans. Wake up, sheeple! The Forerunners and humans are the same.
They're putting shit in the chemtrails to make you think Forerunners are humans.
You think the Forerunners are a different species? That's because you were lied to.
I could crack out some politically relevant impersonations right now.
Oh my God.
I don't think I will.
That would be fun, but it would definitely kickstart a shitstorm in the Halo community.
Yeah, I won't get into that.
If they like 1-to-1 remade the original Halo 2 ending, it's like, man, if people are tired of the infighting and the Bungie versus 343 debates, like, we'd never hear the end of it if they actually remade the original Halo 2 ending.
Yeah, that'd be a big commitment to ever happen. I think we might just have to settle with maybe Alpha Moon and maybe Forerunner tank. Maybe that's what we'll get.
We'll finally be able to see what the hell Forerunner tank is.
Awesomeness will ensue. Oh my God. Imagine it's just like the Phaeton, but on the ground.
Oh my God, the Forerunner tank. Do we actually know any details about that level Forerunner tank?
I don't think
Wasn't
so.
it pitched as like an on-rails thing?
I think at one point it might have been. I know that there was like... Well, I mean, the most we have to go off is those developer commentaries, right, with Jason, Marty, and Joe, and talking about how, you're getting this tank, and you'd go down into like the tunnels of the Forerunner facility, and the flood tentacles from the grave mine would be attacking you and stuff. And
they mentioned
again,
the gondolas. The gondolas in Halo 2 are sort of not the gondola on the surface of Delta Halo's lake, but like the gondolas that are a bit further in the campaign that the Arbiter rides. Like those might be repurposed geometry. Like that thing might have been the Forerunner tank.
And I mean, it checks out because I think that Bungie had a very different idea of how Forerunner weapons and technology worked as vehicles or weapons, as opposed to maybe what 343 considered as a Forerunner weapon or vehicle. So, yeah, looking at that gondola, it's so different from a conventional tank that we would understand it, that I could almost believe it.
Have you ever looked at like the Halo 2, like seriously looked at the Halo 2 Enforcer Sentinel and what it shoots at you as a weapon?
Like the little needler things.
Are they? Oh, I'm thinking of like the rockets.
Oh, right,
that it shoots like little like missiles, like rocket propelled grenades.
It's a bit funky, that, isn't it?
It is very funky, but I always think about that I'm like, listen, we've got to keep that in mind, that like, yes, the Forerunners had lasers, but they also used rocket propelled grenades as part of their arsenal. And, and when you blow up the Sentinels and the Enforcers and stuff, they explode like a fireball kind of explosion. And I remember thinking in Halo 4, the shift over to like the digital, like digitizing, like the thing despawns and fractures and lens flare stuff. I always remember thinking like, that doesn't seem like the Forerunner stuff. Forerunner stuff seems like kind of weirdly industrial.
Yeah, and the Sentinels in Halo 4, when you melee them or shoot them, they just teleport away. Like there's a little puff of smoke and they're just gone. There's no like bits of debris and flaming chunks on the ground. They just, gone.
I felt so vindicated in Halo Infinite when I started shooting at the Sentinels and they just like go screeching into the ground and then just explode like a car or something.
Yeah.
And there's just scrap metal and sparks everywhere. I was like, hell yeah.
I think you've brought up a pretty good point, I would say, in just that little bit alone. Just mentioning the Sentinel Enforcer, like, I think there has been, under 343 and now Halo Studios, maybe a overestimation in terms of the Forerunners' advancement as a society technologically and what they were capable of doing. It seems like, they went too far in the direction of, I don't know, like godlike species with crazy powers, and all their weapons are instant kill laser beams that can just, cut through people like a knife through butter. But in actual fact, like, they were the Forerunners were, from what we can gather from like what's left of their technology, they were kind of slapdash haphazard in some regards. And I think that like the way the Covenant worshipped the Forerunner is kind of like what 343 imagined the Forerunners being. Like, they put them up on this pedestal of being maybe too advanced compared to what they are actually like.
I think what they tried probably doing, like, I think a lot of like that like super hyper advancement came from the later half of the early 2000s, when they were honestly thinking about like what, like, not just like within the fiction of Halo, but also like real world guesswork about what a future civilization would look like. And they're probably like, if you have the ability to create artificial worlds and have them sustain themselves even if they're not shaped like a planet, like, you probably have like a mastery over the physical world. Like, you have such a deep understanding of how the physical world works that you've probably moved beyond rocket-propelled grenades as a weapon.
Yeah.
Like, what was that old joke? Was it Rooster Teeth where they were like, weapons in the future will just be a glass of water and you drink it and then everyone else dies? Yeah, that's what future weapons will look like because of how advanced they'll be.
Yeah, I guess there's also... I mean, I'm sure there's a lore explanation for why the Sentinel Enforcer works the way it does, but part of me is also just thinking, like, on the whole, when you look at how the original exterior of the Halo ring looks, like the back part of it, not the inner walls with the water and the continental pieces, but it looks like it's, I don't want to say scrap metal, but it reminds me of like the hull of the USS Enterprise and how it's kind of multiple pieces of metal kind of like screwed and bolted together of different qualities and different colors and stuff. It's not like
it almost looks like the inside of a PC.
It does a little bit, like a circuit board kind. It's got that kind of vibe going for it. Whereas Anniversary onwards, it's far more like elegant. It's more defined in terms of its shape. It's got these little blue LEDs running up along the back of it and stuff. Like, it's clearly more advanced in terms of its construction. And yeah, that's got me thinking. That's got me thinking in a way that I haven't in some time, in terms of like the distinction between what the intention originally was compared to what it's changed into. And
like the I also think a lot about like Guilty Spark, who fires a sentinel beam as like his primary weapon, and the effects of that versus what the sentinel beam has become, because you get the idea that like the sentinel beam is really hot and then it burns, and it's almost like an Iron Man laser, you know, when you get hit by it, like you'll be pushed back and it will like burn through you and injure you. But now it's become almost this like matter destabilization thing where the beam hits you and it causes a chain reaction in your genetic structure that just disassembles you.
Yeah, that was kind of something that kicked off with Halo 4's Forerunner or Promethean weapons, and then
Cortana explained in Halo 4, when you destroy the Knight, the reason that they disassemble like that is it's their data scattering. Like, it's almost like it's held together, all these like lines of code and stuff, almost like the metal itself is kind of somehow generated, and that when you finally destroy it, that code kind of like unravels and the whole thing just falls apart and all the data kind of disperses into the air, and that's why they disintegrate like that. So why
does that happen with people?
Yeah, why does it
enemies?
Why does it happen with people then? Because that sounds like it's very specifically a thing about the Knights. And then for that matter, why are there like certain buttons in the campaign where you press the button and then the terminal itself disassembles in the same way? You know, in like a light bridge forms or something like that. It's just, I get that the real answer is it's a really cool looking particle effect on the Xbox 360, and so they kind of threw it everywhere they could. But, you know, so like, remember in Halo 3 when Guilty Spark shoots Master Chief and he just kind of goes flying back, or like, you know, gets to his knees and stuff? Now the Sentinel Beam just disintegrates you after touching your pinky or something.
Yeah, or the fact that it didn't do that to Johnson, I think, is like the obvious thing. Like, if Spark really thought he was that much of a threat, then he probably just would have vaporized him on the spot with a couple of seconds of Sentinel Beam, but instead he just leaves a great big burning hole in his chest.
Which a lot of that seems to just be like the lore drift in general, you know, like as time goes on, like certain things are actually thought through, or like, you know, different creatives arrive at different, you know, like the reason Bungie did it is because they were like, that's what they thought looked cool, you know, that's just the vibe they were going for. And with 343 they come in and they clearly take like the fiction of the universe very, very seriously, and they try to come up with reasons for everything. So they're probably thinking like a species that, you know, is basically in a massive outbreak. They want to disintegrate matter everywhere they can. So a lot of their technology is built to kind of disintegrate.
Yeah.
And
I think it's... Yeah. Sorry, go on. I cut you off there.
No.
I was just going to say how it's interesting how that's also kind of carried over to the Covenant side of things to some extent. Like I was... I'm not sure if you've seen it, but Jamie Griesemer made a phenomenal tweet the other day that I loved because it summarized and connected so many dots for me. But the Covenant weapon design for like the original Halo games is that
I saw the
they're
same
not
tweet.
Guns. Like the Covenant are kind of described as almost being like scavengers, and that they would loot Forerunner stuff and repurpose the technology to further their own agenda and their own technological advancements. And I think the example he used was you take a Forerunner MRI component or like a portable arc welder, or like a what else did he say? Like a even a Forerunner printer would be immensely powerful, right? And you strap a handle and a trigger on it and hand it to a grunt, and like that's why they're so unreliable, and that's why they're always overheating or exploding or whatever. It's because of like just terrible ergonomics and the fact that the Covenant don't really know what it is that they're doing with this technology, but it is so powerful.
They're so
and so
like
advanced
fanatical in their worship of it that they don't bother to like examine it and understand it at a deep level.
Yeah. I just thought that was so true and kind of emblematic of just the way that Halo's gone in recent years. I mean, you compare the design of like the plasma rifle, which looks like an exotic fish, to the pulse carbine or the storm rifle, which is very clearly more rifle-esque in terms of its shape and its silhouette. I love my Covenant guns being quirky. I love them just being nonsensical. You look at it and you go, what the fuck is this? Like, what's the front and what's the back?
It's interesting you say that. I pulled up an image of the plasma rifle right now, and I'm like, you know what? That is Forerunner technology. The grip of it. You can see that it's clearly, like, it's got that, like, same, like, titanium metal look, which all the titanium stuff I'm gonna have to tell you a little bit later, like remind me to elaborate on that. Like titanium metal.
I got it.
Yeah, titanium metal alloy, and then like a weird like electrical thing that's happening that almost reminds me of in Combat Evolved, that one room in
343 Guilty Spark.
Yeah.
With the yeah. When I made a video on the plasma rifle, I referred to that as well because it looks so similar.
That's what it is. Yeah, you blow my mind.
Like the fact that there's like all the like the kind of the glowing blue accents and stuff, which is
they just put Forerunner. Some Covenant shit on like a piece of like a Forerunner thing, like a Forerunner tool.
Yeah, it's like an arc welder, and it's the same with the Needler, man. I wouldn't be surprised if the it's coming together. It's all coming together. The Sentinel Enforcers, right? Rocket propelled grenades. Maybe they're used to like for mining or something. And that's that because isn't the Needler a similar thing? It was originally used. I think I'm scraping some deep lore here, but I think it was in Dr. Halsey's journal for the Reach special edition. She mentions like she examines a Needler and it looks more like it's used for like a mining or something, like a mining purpose than an actual weapon. Maybe that's what it's it's based on, is like Sentinel Enforcers were mining drones or something, and like the Blairmite shards are used to like blow up or excavate certain material in combination with the grenades, and they've just been repurposed to combat the Flood or something like that. Alex Wakeford, I'm telling you.
Well, okay, I want to give like some credit to the current Halo lore because there is still a lot of that. They've actually kind of like expanded on that even further with trying, like the rationale of like how on earth did the Covenant lose with the human race so clearly behind technologically, and they've gone into great detail about various things. Like I fell asleep a couple nights ago reading the Halo wiki and learning that a lot of Covenant ships are not built. Like, they don't have blueprints in the traditional sense. You know, they don't have, like, you know, here's, like, the pieces that we're going to be putting into the bridge and, like, blah, 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 blah. Basically, they've found giant Forerunner, like, generators, like seed generators. And they've just, like, input this number and then press print and see what it spits out. And that's how the Covenant ships were found. They were like, okay, we figured out the number 43 spits out this specific thing that can fly. Those are going to be our ships. And the thing is, sometimes it doesn't spit out the correct size. So the Covenant, like their shipyards, so to speak, are massive ancient Forerunner seed generators where through trial and error, the Covenant have figured out which specific combination of inputs will give them the shape of a Covenant Corvette, but they don't know how it works. And sometimes it'll just randomly, like, make it too small. And then they'll be like, this'll just be one of our many classes of Corvette. Like, they don't actually have control over the shit that the seed generators are spitting out. And that goes for all of their ghosts, their wraiths, and stuff like that as well. And that kind of explains why there's so many different forms of these Covenant vehicles.
Yeah, they have no idea what they're doing. They're just bullshitting and making it up as they go along.
Yeah, they just, like, they don't know. And the Covenant prophets, you know, in order to keep tight control over, you know, like, the way that you, like, control your population is by limiting their access to education and information. So it's, like, strictly illegal for the lower ranking Covenant members to actually understand what this is. And the Covenant prophets are only, like, they can only be bothered to learn enough about it to know, like, just, like, press these buttons and it'll work. Like, I have better things to do. I'm rich.
Yeah.
I have a foot bath.
Yeah. It was a Forerunner printed footpath.
Yeah. Yeah, so like the Covenant creatures, they're just like, it's a sleeping divine god that is producing gifts for us to use against the heathens.
Yeah. Fuck, god damn.
So see,
man,
there's still a lot of that in the current lore. But I do think, like, some of the weapons, yeah, like, you know, we look at the storm rifle and we're like, okay, this is like a firearm. Like a rifle, a human-looking rifle. Versus something like the plasma rifle, where it's like a Forerunner hairdryer or something.
Yeah, or the fuel rod gun, where it's like we're literally throwing batteries at you. Like that's
Oh god, I love the fuel rod gun so much. Like it, just staring at it. Like even the Halo 5 version looks really bizarre and doesn't make a lot of sense in keeping with all the fuel rod gun designs. That's what I love about it. It just, like, what were they thinking? Like, they can barely carry it.
Yeah, and they give it to grunts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love little, like, occasionally you get these gold nuggets from old Halo developers that just completely change the way you think about
and
these
send us down a
these
rabbit
games.
Hole.
Yeah, like it sometimes you kind of think it subconsciously, but then you get that clarification and it's like, it's all coming together, you know? Yeah. I love that stuff.
Turns out it wasn't all just a random mess of assets that they threw together and they weren't thinking things through.
There was a great deal of thought and consideration put behind it, indeed.
Yeah. And
we were talking about the remake trilogy.
Yeah, we were. And I think we... oh, man, this is like... it's okay. We're allowed to have an episode like this where we, honest to God, struggle to stay on topic. But I think we got totally lost on just like me randomly blurting out. Like, have you noticed how differently Forerunner stuff is portrayed now versus how it used to be portrayed? And then we talked about lore drift, and then we talked about, you know, like all the... Oh, God, what's that thing I asked you to remind me about?
Titanium.
Oh, my God. You're a genius.
I do try. Thank you very much. I'm very humble.
So Rebecca said something that was like a perfect moment that made me wish she was a part of the Halo community like a decade ago. See, something so beautiful about being married to somebody like Rebecca is that her mind brings so much just like outside, like, oh, that might be what they're trying to do. Like, we're in the Halo community so deeply that sometimes we can't tell our head from our ass. But she has that outsider's perspective, and she'll just make a comment about something, and it's like, oh, that makes sense. So I was trying to articulate on a stream last week that Forerunner metal feels like it's being represented differently. Like, it's not that, like, oh, you know, the Forerunner structures look completely different in the Halo remake. It's that it would probably look a lot better if the material was changed to something else. And Rebecca just like casually said, it looks like they're trying to make Forerunner stuff look like steel now, where the old Bungie stuff looked more like a titanium kind of metal. And I looked up titanium on Google Images, and sure enough, boom, that's what Bungie Forerunner metal used to look like.
Hold on a minute. Yeah, okay, all right, yep.
You're seeing it, right?
Yep. Hold on, wait, let me just specify a little bit more here. Okay. Yes. Yeah, now look at
now look up steel. Look up steel. It's all coming together, right? She's totally right.
Rebby cooked.
Yeah, she cooked. She was totally right. And when you look at the, if you look at the Halo Combat Evolved remake now, like, yeah, a lot of the Forerunner stuff looks more like steel. Where the old Bungie stuff, like titanium, for those of you listening, you know, like who don't have a visual reference, titanium, it's clearly metal, but it's dull. Like, it is reflective. You can see that it is reflecting something, but something about the surface and the texture of it is so dull that you don't actually get like a full-on reflection from something. You just get that it's supposed to be metal, but you can't actually see anything in the reflection. It looks almost like a super polished rock.
Yeah, and whereas I think the new Forerunner stuff is leaning a bit towards like stainless steel. It's kind of like it's like my fucking scan pan frying pan. Like, I can see myself in it if I polish it enough and I look closely. And it's almost flawless in a way. Yeah, she's on the money there.
That was like a beautiful moment that I've still got, like, it's in my head and I'm not sure what to do with this information now because that was a big knowledge bomb. But it's definitely going to factor into a lot of my feedback is reiterating that the Forerunner stuff maybe should look a little bit more titanium than steel.
Yeah, and a lot of the images that I'm seeing, just looking at like titanium metal texture, there's more variance in the color. Like, I look at a stainless steel and it's cold, like it's a straight silver. Yeah. Whereas a titanium is more like, it's almost like a platinum kind of color in there on some of these images. Mm-hmm. I get it and I see it and I understand now. It's knowledge bomb going off in my head right now. I love this shit. I love it.
Yeah. Okay. So, yep, that's what I wanted you to remind me about. Because folks who are listening now can go on to spread that message.
Yes, propagate and spread the information.
Propagate it, but like, you know, us in the Halo community, we're kind of like bees in a hive.
Yeah. Like a hive mind, like a grave mind.
Oh my god, like a grave mind, you could say. Yeah.
Whoa, he said the thing. Whoa. He said the thing.
Halo reference.
Whoa. Halo reference by Halo podcast.
Whoa, that's like Halo.
No other community would spend like this long focusing so clearly on not just the intention of the design of the weapons, but also like the texture of certain buildings. Like it's just
like, dude, us in the Halo community, we could honest to God have an argument about which Halo game had the best grass texture.
Pretty much. Yeah.
A community, I would say, that is not nearly as passionate as us would be the Call of Duty
cooking.
You're cooking.
Before I even... God damn it, man! You cooked with that segue. Holy shit, you're on fire!
That's how you do a segue.
Man, you got me so pumped up about that. God damn, I'm all for it. Yeah,
Black Ops 7 looks like hot shit.
It looks like a dog was out on a cold morning and took a dump, and you could see the steam wafting off it. It was...
That's literally what we have on our notes. Black Ops 7 looks like hot shit.
Not specifically Halo related, but by God, if this is not the death spiral of COD campaigns and just COD in general right now, I don't know what is, man. This is looking grim.
It's like we had it listed because prior to us hopping on here, we yapped a little bit about, like, you see that giant Michael Rooker boss fight in Black Ops? And
with the health bar?
And it was like, okay, you know what? We've got too much to say about this game. We should definitely rant about it. Because it does not look good.
Where do we even start? Like, it's just... I mean, the big thing, of course, is that this is so blatantly just like the worst kind of nostalgia baiting I have seen in recent memory. It's just... I don't often like using the word soulless because I feel like it's almost too broad a terminology. Like, what is something that, like, what is a form of art like a video game that has a soul? Like, what does that even mean? But Black Ops 7 gets pretty fucking close to that. I've just been seeing clips, like, admittedly out of context, and I haven't bought the game and played it yet, and I doubt I will, because after BO6, I'm just done with COD, man. But
I got a feeling, I feel like the context would make it look worse.
Yeah, it honestly might.
Because I think I know what it is, and it's stupid.
There's... I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like this is all to do with, like, some kind of joint hallucination, right? Like, it's some kind of dream state that the characters in the campaign are in, and so they're seeing all this weird shit.
It's the most uncreative hallucination. Like, you know, for all the advancements in gaming since Far Cry 3, the only creative thing the Western game industry is able to do when it comes to somebody hallucinate is... there's some zombies, some objects are bigger, and occasionally you fight on a floating landmass in a void.
Yeah, fuck, you bang on the money there. But also, like, isn't this all stuff that we've done in Zombies before? Like, I feel like we've tread this ground before. They're just recycling it for the sake of using stuff to put in campaign. Like, it's... in Zombies, it kind of works within that context, because it is a bit wacky, but campaign, I'm not so sure. Yeah.
See, and you're going there. See, I'm in the position of, like, I think that stuff is really dumb in Zombies. I don't like when Zombies is floating rock islands in a void with gods attacking. I think that shit's stupid in Zombies.
Yeah, I think I've just kind of been weathered down from years of disappointment and
but I
Vanguard. Fuck.
We both
Vanguard.
agree that, like, for a COD campaign to be doing this stupid thing where it's like, it's all a dream that has a lot of stability, you know, and there's zombie assets. Yeah. And the locations are fairly consistent, which is, it looks like a Far Cry 3 drug sequence.
I don't know when it started popping up, but I noticed within, I think it might have been BO6 or maybe Cold War, but for whatever reason, in
Black
the developer...
Ops 3.
Yeah, maybe it was Black Ops 3, but there was this constantly used in the marketing material and the trailers for the games when the devs are talking, and they always refer to Black Ops campaigns as being trippy.
Oh,
and I'm
okay.
like, one, I'm not so sure about that. Like, what in Black Ops 2 specifically was ever trippy? Like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think there was ever a dream sequence or a hallucination. I mean, there's maybe that bit where, like, the numbers start ticking back in Mason's head when he's face-to-face with Kravchenko again, and he thinks Reznov saves him out in the desert. Black Ops 1, I mean, maybe you could argue that it was a bit trippy, but most of that is kind of quarantined to one mission, and it's kind of like everything has been building up to this point. Like, it's not the whole campaign is this trippy mindfuck. It's like, it's done in a way that is believable before it builds to this crescendo where, like, you break out of the chair and stuff and you see all this crazy stuff happening that kind of allows you to connect the dots with what you've been seeing previously.
Yeah, like,
but then Black Ops 3 went and did, like, the complete fucking opposite, and the entire thing is supposedly a dream or a hallucination if you manage to figure out what these tiny little notes in the opening text before the mission starts was. Like, I don't know when Black Ops and trippy being conflated as the same things. I don't know. It just, I don't think that's what people played the Black Ops campaigns and enjoyed them for. Like, that's not it, Chief. Not it.
Yeah, the drug, or like the hallucination stuff in Black Ops 1, like, it's, you pretty much said it exactly. It was just like a moment of putting the pieces together, and it made sense within the Black Ops 1 story because it was like Cold War, got it, like CIA, black site, like torture, like weird drug, you know, experimenting. Like, it all made sense within the time period. But Black Ops 2 was a completely different story. Like, it was just a completely different story. And it feels like almost, it's like this thing that, like, so many creative properties go through, where after a certain time period, they start referencing themselves a lot. And then they get trapped in this, like, death spiral where it's unable to do anything new because it's become so self-referential, and then it begins dragging down the thing that it's referencing with it. And so here we are at this, almost like Black Ops 7 feels like the creative death of the Black Ops series, where it's just like, yeah, it is like this fever dream of just like Black Ops numbers. What do the numbers mean? Menendez, Mason, a machete.
Yeah, Vorkuta. Yeah, it's like,
remember the machete?
Yeah.
And it's all done in this, like, stupid, like, they obviously went with this, like, drug sequence framing so that they could have an excuse to just really not make a world. Like, there isn't a world here.
There's anything new.
Yeah, there's nothing to explore here. There is no world. It's just content to chase after. Like, defeat the big Michael Rooker boss battle so that you can level up your battle pass. And when you beat the Black Ops 7 narrative, you get access to the story end game. Then you can grind that infinitely.
Yeah, it is.
It's just content now.
It is very much the snake eating its own tail in some respects, and also just it's just like I don't understand the foundations that Call of Duty is built on at this point, because it feels like each and every year they are trying so hard to bring in new people, right? Like, they are trying to either capture the Fortnite kid audience or whatever, and bring them into this grinding simulator of just not even worth putting into words.
The hamster wheel.
But the hamster wheel, exactly. It is that. That is a far nicer terminology than I would have used. But at the same time, they're trying to like reference back to the old all the time, and it's like, kids aren't gonna fucking get this shit. They're not gonna see a whole bunch of zombies walking out of the doors at Fukuda from that one moment in the Black Ops 1 campaign and be like, oh, I remember that. No one cares, dude. And for the few people that do, they're gonna fucking clown on it like they have been in Twitter. That's the other thing, is like the over-reliance of putting zombies in the campaign.
Oh, God.
Like that happened once in Black Ops 3, I think, and then
it was
suddenly
the worst part of the Black Ops 3 campaign.
Yeah, why the... Everyone fucking hates the Black Ops 3 campaign. Why the fuck do we keep referring back to it all the time? And yet surrounding it in the guise of, oh, this is the real Black Ops 2 sequel. Like, no, it's not. Stop. You're lying to yourself.
The zombies stuff, I think what happened was Black Ops 3, somebody let them cook, and they should not have been allowed to cook, and they just threw zombie assets into the campaign, and it was very stupid. And to be fair, I don't think anyone actually cared. They just clowned on Black Ops 3 in general. But then with Cold War, the zombies Easter egg in the campaign was like funny and handled in sort of a classy way, if you remember it.
Was that the one where it's like, it's the mission where, again, you kind of go into that trippy, drug-induced dreamscape and you keep ignoring
you're being
Adler's
interrogated. And the framing is that you are telling your interrogator what you did, what the sequence of events was. And if you go off the beaten path, you find a hole and there's zombies and the zombies attack you and stuff. And then you get like basically reset to the last checkpoint and your interrogator is like, okay, zombies attacked. Then tell me what really happened.
Yeah, like it's done in an interesting way, and it's framed in it's humorous, but it also kind of makes sense. Because as for context, the character that you're playing at the time is very clearly like feeling like he's been double crossed here, and he's trying to mislead them in such a way. So it makes sense, but in Black Ops 6's campaign...
Well, they were like, oh, everyone liked the zombie moment! Have a whole mission in Black Ops 6 where you break into a laboratory and you have zombie boss battles with a grappling hook, and there's health bars!
It's just too much, dude.
They just like they didn't understand why that moment of zombies in the Cold War campaign worked. And now
there's no nuance.
With the Black Ops 7 campaign, they've created a narrative framing, which is at the start of the campaign, your squad of 4 get gassed by fear gas that makes them see scary things. And that is their excuse to basically just drop you into a war zone map and have like roaming packs of zombies and giant Michael Rooker boss battles with health bars and we don't want to like make a real world or like a conflict that feels like it could plausibly take place in the future. So we just wanted to make like a mobile game environment where you can run around and earn loot in.
Yeah. God, man, I love the Black Ops series. Well, I love the Black Ops series. I love Black Ops 1 and 2.
Yes.
And I love World at War. I love those 3 games and just how bold they are and just how tight the story is, especially in Black Ops 1. How much enjoyment I have got out of replaying those campaigns time and time again on my own, not even cooperatively. And just seeing them dragged in the mud like this and used for cheap nostalgia bait and the whole point being completely missed, I feel like it's just tragic in a way, man. And seeing that the numbers for the release of Black Ops 7 have not been good on Steam, at least. It looks as though the game is barely going to hit 90,000 concurrent players the day after launch, or the day of launch, rather. Like, that's not good. That is really not good. And I get that the bulk of Call of Duty players are likely on console, but man, the last time a COD game performed that poorly on PC, I think, was Black Ops 4. And from that point onwards, they completely reconfigured the franchise and just reevaluated everything going forward. So it feels like we're in that stage now where I think history is going to start repeating itself pretty quickly.
Yeah, it feels sort of like they, I was telling Rebecca this, that it's very obvious that they were so kind of energized by the success of Warzone and the selling of the skins and stuff, and somehow they didn't see that the backlash to like the Ninja Turtles, American Dad, like all the crossover stuff was coming. Like they didn't see it coming somehow, or they at least thought they could get away with it for another year. At least they didn't think. At least they didn't think Black Ops 7 was going to be the game that broke people. And so it's very obvious that this game was built to be just like a big mobile game, you know, where it's like there is no art direction. It's just stuff. It's just a bunch of stuff. It's just content, basically, with no coherence or integrity connecting it all together. And then when people got mad, they had to hastily begin redrawing as much of it as they could to look more grounded and militaristic. And clearly they could not get to the whole game in time for launch. So now, you know, the game's out there and it looks like a mobile game.
It does look shit. It does. Yeah. It doesn't have that same artistic integrity as previous Call of Duty games did, for sure. It just feels like a slapdash of highly saturated colors and just random elements all bashed together that just don't really work with one another. That it reeks of mobile game. And hey, COD Mobile is doing pretty good apparently, so it doesn't surprise me that they've tried to take inspiration from it for their AAA yearly release. Yeah.
Call of Duty now, like as a franchise, feels like a mobile knockoff of itself. You know, and I get that like the militaristic stuff isn't for everybody, but also like that's the genre that Call of Duty has. Like, hey, if you wanted to do this, you maybe should have thought about that beforehand. And maybe branched it off into something different, because Call of Duty, unfortunately, can't really ever be like Fortnite, truly. Like, it will always have to be a militaristic game of some sort. And it clearly hates that. It hates that it's trapped in this militaristic prison.
Yeah, you're so right, man. You're so right. Like they don't even they don't want to be making Call of Duty, do they? They want to be almost like making something else while still being a first-person shooter. But yeah, I can't think of any words better to describe it, honestly.
And allegedly, the next Call of Duty game is being done by, after Modern Warfare 4, we know that, like, Sledgehammer Games is working on something that's apparently a new sub-franchise in the Call of Duty series that will have a heavy focus on martial arts and movement tech.
Uh-huh.
Have you heard that?
That... I just...
Any thoughts? He's gone mad. He's lost
it's happening again, man.
Oh my god.
All it takes is one bad Call of Duty game, and we're
oh my
back
god,
here
calm
again.
down! Come on, put down the knife!
This is your fault, Vonderhaar! You did this!
But you kept buying Ninja Turtle skins! We thought this is what you wanted!
The one time they had a Terminator cosmetic, I didn't realize it would lead to this.
Oh, fuck me, dude. I just... Oh, Call of Duty. Duty. Pooey. That's what it is right now, man.
Stinky poop from a butt.
Yeah.
That's
steamy, turdy, gross.
That's what this game should be called, not Black Ops 7. It should be called Poop from a Butt. That's what should be on the box.
It's some South Park level humor right there.
Did you know you can't even pause the game, like the campaign when you're playing it? Even when you've got no... Yeah, even when you're playing by yourself, the pause isn't... It doesn't pause. You're always connected to servers.
So it's like the similar thing with how they did BO6 Zombies, where you could pause the game for 15 minutes, and after that it was like, no.
What I'm saying is, like, if you pause the game, it's like a multiplayer match. Like the game world is still moving around, and like you can be killed in the pause screen in a solo campaign.
We've got to start again. We've got to wipe the slate clean with this next Call of Duty game. Actually, you know what? I think we should just let it go for a couple years. Vote with your wallets, folks, if you haven't already. It seems like you have, but just...
we've got to restart. You, I thought you were going in that direction, and I was going to say, they say the thing about, like, a nuclear war is the survivors would essentially kind of go back to the Stone Age. At least their children would. And it would be almost like a cultural reset for the human race. And we'd have to build back up to the point that we are now, which would take generations and generations. We
wouldn't learn anything.
What I'm going for is that, like, maybe Black Ops 7 is so bad that we should have a nuclear war?
Within the Treyarch offices, metaphorically speaking, Activision, that's where we go. That's where we're going with that, right? That's where we're going with that. The silence is deafening. Help me here, brother.
I was going to throw in the AI stuff, because a lot of... Have you seen the list of the... See, I was going with the greater human race, because maybe Black Ops 7 is like a punishment for man's hubris. Like an Icarus moment, like humanity has flown too close to the sun, and Black Ops 7 is like Icarus. The Michael Rooker, looming over us and says, "Look at me. Look at what you have created."
I am a monument to all your...
this is your fault. Now look at me. Look at what you've done.
I'm a monument to all your sins. That's my awful Michael Rooker impression.
That was Michael Rooker.
Well, I don't fucking... No.
God, what... Hang on. Michael Rooker, like, let's try to get it. Like, he's got, like, that kind of, like, hey, I'm Michael Rooker. No, that's terrible.
He's a bit of a... He's got
a bit of a whine to his voice, right?
He's quite breathy. He's a bit gravelly. He's sort of... It's like...
Storm's rolling in. Like, something like that. His voice...
It's too easy to drift off into every other cast member in The Walking Dead.
Or becoming like an old man. Like, let me tell you
something about back in my day when I did the voice acting for Call of the Dead. Before I was in this Black Ops 2-7 bullshit.
I know how we can do it. I know how we can do the Michael Rooker voice. We got to quote Call of the Dead, some of his quotes.
Oh, the only one that comes to mind right now.
Storm's rolling in.
God damn, my teeth are tingly.
Yeah, like, okay, no, damn it.
It's hard. It's a hard one to get right.
It's his damn vocal cords.
Yeah.
We need them.
Yeah, I'm tempted to, like, get into the, God, hey, let me tell you something, man. Like, I'm getting into that Walking Dead different characters.
Yeah, we keep...
Carl!
We keep, like, drifting away. Like, the harder we try, the further we drift from Michael Rooker. Hey, that's a title. The harder we
keep
try,
drifting from-
the farther we drift from Michael Rooker.
It's gotta go on a fucking t-shirt.
That's like a biblical passage.
Michael 2715. The harder we try, the further we drift from Michael Rooker.